In this video, I'm going to rank every single launcher in Fortnite history from worst to best. This is, well, every launcher, right? This is every weapon found under the launcher category in the Fortnite wiki. It's been over a year now since I made this video, so it's time for a remake. And if you do go on to enjoy it, please consider leaving it a like using code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop when you get the chance. And let's get into this ranking. This is going to be a good one. At number 23, the worst launcher in Fortnite history, it is the Recycler, and it's not even close. Will, of course, include its mythic version, the Spire Assassin's Recycler. Who even cares about this weapon? I really just don't want to waste time on this video or waste any more time talking about it. It is almost as useless of a weapon as you can get. Like, it's, for me, in with the top 10 worst weapons of all time. So an easy last place spot for me here. At number 22 is going to be the Big Chill. Yes, a weapon that does no damage, I think, is better than the Recycler. At least with the Big Chill, you can use it for rotation for yourself. You can maybe knock somebody off fall damage. As you guys can tell, I'm really reaching here. The Big Chill is just nearly as bad as the Recycler is, and if you want to put the Big Chill in last place on this list, yeah, absolutely, you could do that. At number 21 is going to be the Anvil launcher, and while the Anvil launcher is a bad launcher, it does have one thing that it does incredibly well, and that is take down vehicles, right? You have a launcher here that literally locks onto vehicles. The other two weapons I just talked about, they just don't really like have a purpose at all in the game. At least the Anvil launcher does. Now, I will say, is that purpose particularly useful? In some seasons, yeah, maybe, like Chapter 5, Season 3. But most of the time, like, you just don't really find yourself needing the Anvil launcher, right? And that's why it's this far down the list. At number 20 is going to be the guided missile. And honestly, something I should have mentioned earlier that is very important for this list is that I mostly play builds. I've done some zero builds here and there. And knowing that, that might explain why the guided missile is so low on this list, right? Because the guided missile in builds mode now is totally useless, right? Like, I would go as far to say it's basically useless. One, you have to leave your body AFK behind, and all somebody has to do is place 4 walls, a floor, and a ceiling. That takes somebody literally half a second to do, and boom, the guided missile is fully countered. So unless you're playing against literal AI bots, the guided missile in builds mode is useless. Zero builds, I'm sure it gets, a ton more usage, and if this was a zero build list, it would be much higher up. Back in the day when nobody could build, the guided missile was useful. Now it's just very difficult to even do damage with this thing, in my opinion, of course. At number 19 is going to be the snowball launcher, but this is going to be the impact version, right? Of course, there is the bouncy grenade version, and then you've got the impact grenade version. And the impact grenade version is really bad. In its highest rarity, right? The best possible form that you can find this weapon, it only does 55 damage with only 4 snowballs. You only get 4 shots, not 6 like a normal grenade launcher, and the structure damage is only 110. That is not even enough to one-shot a wood wall. This is a painfully bad launcher, and the only reason it's high up on the list is because at least you get a little bit of versatility with it, right? You can move around with it, right? Like, I'm talking about it being compared to the guided missile or the Anvil launcher here, right? Like, it's not really a brag that it's at this spot in the list today because it easily could be lower. At number 18 is the egg launcher, and it's okay. It's definitely better than the impact version of the snowball launcher, but it doesn't really move the needle for me. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just an Easter themed version of the grenade launcher, but with some very slightly different stats. That is why it's included on this list today, but again, you're not really looking at anything insane. At number 17 are the Thunder Spears. Do you consider these a launcher? I literally went on Google and looked up, are the Thunder Spears launchers? And yeah, Google says yes. And so it will be included on this list. If you wanted to take it off, I would totally understand. They're not really that good. Very limited uses. They're really only good when you're above somebody, as most explosive weapons are, of course. Again, nothing here really moves the needle for me, right? Like, honestly, it was kind of even hard to put them at number 17. It's just the items I've talked about so far on this list are just really not good. At number 16 is going to be the flare gun. And do you consider the flare gun a launcher, right? That is what this comes down to. It is something that could fit in both the pistol category and the launcher category. You can easily make an argument for both. And so I'm going to put the flare gun on this list today. Is it anything spectacular? No, we have seen much better recon items, but 6 free shots of recon, I mean, yeah, that's good, right? You don't even have to pick this weapon up. Just take it, shoot all 6, and leave it down. And there you go, right? You get the usage of this weapon. It's nothing crazy, but it does get the job done for quick recon. At number 15 is going to be the bouncy version of the snowball launcher. So yeah, it definitely places higher than the impact version of the snowball launcher, but not much higher at all. It does enough damage for me to warrant putting it higher, even though you are shooting bouncy grenades and not grenades that are exploding on impact. I do think that this makes sense to put it at this point in the list, though. And number 14 is going to be the bouncy version of the grenade launcher. Now, this might come as a surprise to some of you guys, especially if you've been playing OG. You know, the grenade launcher can be very strong. It's just those bouncy grenades are so bouncy. Like, I don't know how else to say it. They go everywhere. It is so hard to, like, accurately place a good grenade. With that being said, if you do and you are able to do so, you are going to hit for big time damage, as a bouncy grenade should. It's just like, how do I explain this? Yeah, if I hit 1 out of 6 grenades, that's going to be doing what, like 100 damage, right? But I think I could much more easily hit 2 impact grenade shots and do more damage than that. And that is why the grenade launcher, the impact version, is at my number 13 spot. Again, some people might not even know this change ever happened, but the damage on the impact grenade launcher is much more significant than the other impact grenade launcher variants that have been on this list today. This is a great spot for it on this list, I think. It is not a top tier launcher, but I think it is better than all the other grenade launchers I have mentioned on this list today. Number 12 is going to be the quad launcher. I'm always confused on what to think about the quad launcher, right? Of course, it is a pretty powerful rocket launcher. I mean, not in terms of damage, but the fact that you get multiple rockets before you've got to reload, that of course will explode on impact. The problem is, first of all, the projectile travels extremely slowly, but also the drop, right? Like, you shoot this thing 60 meters away, it falls like it's got like a weight on top of it. It is unbelievable. What I will say is, at the range that you are supposed to use the quad launcher at, the quad launcher will be pretty effective. At number 11 is going to be the burst quad launcher, and the burst quad launcher is only higher because you can shoot more shots before reloading. It'll say that you only have 4 shots, but every time you pull the trigger, actually 2 rockets come out. That's why it's the burst quad launcher. So technically, you're actually shooting 8 rockets, but only using 4 rockets of your actual ammo. But that is good damage-wise. If you hit both shots, it basically just lines up with the regular quad launcher. So again, the only reason why this one's higher is because technically you get more ammo capacity. And number 10 is going to be the proximity grenade launcher. This weapon has not been in the game for a long time, and it's a really weird one. If you shoot this grenade launcher and it is not near somebody, the rocket won't explode. It will just bounce. But if it is near somebody, it will explode. So it's not good for doing, destructive damage to someone's 1x1 or something, but it has the advantage of not necessarily needing to be, let's say, above somebody to do good damage. If someone's peeking out of their stair and you are below them and you shoot this thing straight up in the air, as long as it's close enough to them, you will do damage. And that is a great ability. Not to mention that this is a rocket launcher that is clearly meant to be used at range. You can get good work done with the proximity grenade launcher. At number 9 is going to be the plasma cannon. Again, another weapon. Do you see it as a pistol? Do you see it as a launcher? It is legitimately both. This is lower than I've ranked the plasma cannon in previous lists. I don't know, just something about only having 5 shots. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does a ton of damage, like a destructive amount of damage, but think about it. I mean, I think about the new weapons that we've got, right? The bug blaster or the swarm strike, right? Would I rather take both of those over the plasma cannon? Yeah, I would, just purely because of how much ammo you have, and you can do nearly the same amount of destruction with those weapons. So, I don't know. The plasma cannon is a very interesting one for me. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this pick. At number 8 is one of the brand new additions to this list. It is the bug blaster. I really like the bug blaster. I think this is a good weapon. My only problem with the bug blaster is I feel like you can't really use this thing on its own. I feel like you really need to pair it with shockwaves or the shockwave hammer or some form of mobility that will let you use it in the air. When you charge up the bug blaster, it essentially just becomes a mini version of the Cybertron cannon with 30 shots. I think I would go as far as to say that this is probably an underrated weapon in Chapter 6, Season 4, and that's because it's being overshadowed by the Swarm Strike, which is a weapon that we will talk about much higher up on this list. At number 7 is my controversial pick for this video today. It is the Lawless Rift Launcher. This is always one of the most difficult weapons for me to rank, right? Because when you use it yourself, it's not really that good. I mean, firstly, you can get beamed out of the air. It's great for transporting around the map, right? Like if you're deep in zone, right? You need to go from point A to point B. If you are deep in storm, right, and you need to go from point A to point B, this is going to be the best weapon in Fortnite history to do that. But if you're in a fight, right, you need to escape a fight, would you rather have shockwaves or would you rather have the Lawless Rift Launcher? I'm going to say I'd rather have shockwaves, but you've got to remember, not only can you use this thing on yourself, you can use it on opponents, and it can be a really good trap for that, right? Like you get someone weak, shoot the Rift Launcher at them, now they are stuck in the air. Everyone knows in this day and age of Fortnite with first-person assault rifles, you do not want to be stuck in the air. You are going to get absolutely fried, and so the Rift Launcher is just so difficult for me to rank. Another one that easily could have been inside the top 5 or could have been at number 10, right? Again, another one, I need you guys to let me know in the comment section what you think about it. At number 6 is the Cybertron Cannon. I love the Cybertron Cannon. I think besides the Mammoth Pistol, this was the best thing that happened in Chapter 4, Season 3. Absolute ton of damage, a very quick projectile speed that does not drop at all, and you get infinite ammo, which of course is something I should have mentioned about the Lawless Rift Launcher as well, because that is a great capability sweep ability. It is just so much damage, and since that projectile fires so quickly, you can essentially do like a double heavy snipe with this thing, right? If you're playing duos and you each have a Cybertron cannon, you can pick out a wall and say, okay, 3, 2, 1, let's both shoot it here, and you are literally guaranteed the damage. Whereas if you do it with a regular rocket launcher, the projectile just travels too slow. People can react quick enough. At number 5 is the sticky grenade launcher, another weapon that, if you had 2 of them, used to be absolutely broken because you could swap between them. Now, to my knowledge, you cannot do that anymore. But the sticky grenade launcher is good because, one, it is a sticky grenade, right? Sticky grenades have a ton of value because you essentially can control directly where that grenade goes, shoots an extremely fast projectile with a ton of damage. And the great thing about the sticky grenade launcher is you don't have to reload all your rounds at once, right? With the grenade launcher, you shoot all 6, then you've got to reload it, and then you can get back to shooting. With the sticky grenade launcher, you can just go one after another, and you can literally just reload one rocket after another. The spam is unbelievable with this weapon, great against cars. I loved the sticky grenade launcher in Chapter 6, Season 2. At number 4, I've got the explosive goo gun. Yeah, you knew this was going to be this high up on the list. This is one of the few launchers in Fortnite history that, well, you can actually control where the explosive is going to land, right? With something like the sticky grenade launcher, it just fires a grenade wherever you aim down sights, right? It's not like the regular RPG where you aim it at one spot and it will go over that one spot. The explosive goo gun, you can aim wherever you want. You can just hold down the trigger and aim left, right, and the goo will go everywhere and the explosiveness will follow, of course. Unbelievable damage to vehicles, unbelievable damage to builds, unbelievable damage to players. This weapon is so good, and again, another weapon that I don't believe will ever come back. Every time I say that, the weapon does end up coming back, so get ready for the tweet, guys, from Epic Games. Chapter 6, Season 4, Explosive Goo Gun has been unvaulted. I can already see it now. We are now inside our top 3, and at number 3 is the RPG, right? This is just your basic rocket launcher, and it does everything it needs to do well. Great explosive damage, very quick reload, and the best thing about the RPG is really just the immediate damage, right? The immediate damage of 121 in the legendary version. It's essentially like getting hit with a shotgun, but with insane explosive radius. If you play Fortnite OG, you'll know that every time you see an RPG, you've got to take it, and the end games are filled with RPGs. They are just so deadly. It's so easy to put out so much damage so quickly. That is why the RPG is this high up on the list. But it is beaten out by the Swarm Strike from Chapter 6, Season 4 at my number 2 spot today. I mean, what do I have to say about this weapon? They have nerfed it over and over again, and they still cannot contain this thing. The Swarm Strike excels over the RPG in, well, the fact that you can, one, absolutely destroy vehicles. The RPG is not great against vehicles because obviously you cannot control the rocket. The Swarm Strike is like the guided missile, but if you didn't have to leave your body and you could control it, and you also have like 12 rockets flying at you at one time. It's absolutely insane, right? The fact that you only use one rocket, but 12 come out of the weapon, I'm not sure if that 12 number is accurate. It's something like that. This is just the anti-vehicle weapon, but also so insane against players. It shouldn't be a surprise it's at the number 2 spot today, but of course, it's not at number 1. And this might surprise some people, but I think the best launcher in Fortnite history is the Lawless Shockwave RPG from Chapter 6, Season 2. It really has everything going for it, right? Like, you get insane mobility. Literally, this is one of the best mobility items in Fortnite history, but also you can force people out of cover. That makes this weapon in zero build almost like a must carry if you find it. If someone's sitting behind a tree, you can shoot this weapon at them and they will fly out of their cover. Not to mention, you can also do damage to people, but you won't do damage to yourself. The only other argument I could see for any other weapon being at the number 1 spot on this list today, guys, is the Swarm Strike. But for me, I'm going to take the Lawless Shockwave RPG. Alrighty, folks, please be sure to let me know in the comment section of this video what you thought about this ranking. Did you like it? What did you disagree with? I'm always open to hear you guys. I read literally every single comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. With that all being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace.